Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Trekkie Plays Minecraft, episode 11. And today we got a few things on our itinerary. We're going to be setting up a base of operations so we're not living in a hole. We're going to be talking more about, land clearing and, setting up shop and other things. We might even demonstrate the Runic Dust Mod and set up a beginner's Thaumcraft operation. So let's get right into it. Now the first thing I want to do today is I want to set up a little base. Nothing major, nothing epic. This is just going to be a temporary deal, but something nice to look at in our world while we're doing other things. It's not very fun looking at some dudes sitting in a hole. So let's take this old wheat maker's hut and let's turn into something a little bit more. Because I'm sure he won't mind. I don't know what fate he met out here. Maybe he got killed by all those mobs spawning at night or whatever. As you can see, I've already started a little bit. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. Sorry about that. I got a message on Steam and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't popping up into the window. Anyway, as I was saying, I had already started a little bit. I set up myself a little bit of a wheat farm. Need food. It's been a constant issue. But luckily there's been some pigs and stuff around here too. So, and there goes Steam again. I don't know if y'all could hear that. But it's not popping up, so that's good. Anyways, there was already some fencing back here, so I figured I'd just extend it a little bit and put some wheat back here. Have a little bit of food. It's not a full-size wheat field, but whatever. So we're going to take apart this... Man, that person really wants to talk to me. I told him I'm recording. Anyways, we're gonna tear this apart. We're gonna make something out, nothing fancy. So let's just tear this stuff a bit. And this. Let's even this out. Kind of makes you wonder what it'd be like to live in this world. I mean, we're adventurers. We get to kill stuff. We got swords and stuff. But how about for some dude like this? He's probably just trying to make his weed, trying to make an honest living out here near the ocean. And then some night he met his grisly end. Well, judging by the damage, I'm gonna say it's not a creeper. Maybe it's a zombie. Broke down. He doesn't have a door anymore, so we'll just assume that it was a zombie. Need some dirt. Need that dirt. I did a little bit of resourcing. A little bit, not very much. While we were away. They just try to get something started and going. Sorry, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just need a place to live, and your house is already somewhat pre-built, so we're going to expand upon it. Because I don't like living in a hole in the ground, so we're going to do this. Yeah, he didn't really care for space, did he? He must not have had much possessions. He had a single chest. He didn't even have a bed. He had like a 2x4 space to live in. That's not very much. So yeah, we're gonna take care of it. Get this dirt block out of the middle of his house. Oh, guess what would help if I use the right tools. And while we're just, you might have noticed that I've cleared some area and I put some torches down in a grid fashion. I do not want to repeat of the last time. I typically don't like having to deal with that. And plus it's nice to have, if it gets dark and I'm still building, I don't have to rush over to the bed. Though I probably will for recording sakes. But if I'm not recording, it's just an annoyance. I'm a bit OCD about everything, as you might know. Everything's in like nice lines. That's typical for me. I tend to make everything a nice, neat little lines. That's just the way I build. So let's go out. We don't need it to be huge, but I want it to be at least. Yeah. How much did we make it? We made it 5 long. Okay. I like to center everything on a single block. That way, a door could be here, and there's 2 blocks to each side. And now if there was a double, like centered on 2 blocks, then everything would have to be working in stuff like enchanting rooms are centered on one block. It's just, it's something for me that's very important. It's the way I tend to do things. So you'll come to notice that as we go along, everything I do tends to be in a very particular fashion. What else do I have? Didn't I have? Oh, I was gonna say I did have some birch. Did you have some birch? So there's really no fast way to mine this dirt wall stuff. These dirt world. God dang. These dirt walls, of course, are part of the Millionaire Mod. I mean, even if they are a little bit more fancy than regular dirt, I still don't like them. Sorry. Sorry, Millionaire Mod creators. I'm sure you all went, put a lot of hard work into them dirt walls, but I just don't like them, okay? There's really not going to be anything left of this poor dude's hut, but that's okay. We're moving in. It's our house now. Let's get some more stone pillars on the side, or not stone. I'm completely out of my mind this morning. Apparently, I don't know one resource from another. It's early. It's like 8:30 in the morning, which is usually late for me. I usually am up all night, but right now my schedule's actually normal, like a normal person. Clearly, I've lost my gamer edge. It takes forever just to clear it. I didn't want to tear it down without, being on camera. I wanted this to be part of it. We've done a lot of exploring and mod discussing, so I figured this time we'd actually, I don't know, maybe build some shit. It's a crazy, crazy world we live in to talk about such things. Okay, I want to make sure I made it on a... Yes, I made it on a single block. Okay. Boop. Okay, let's do this. Let's move it right along. We're making this our own. Yay. Oh, I'm out of wood. Do 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 do. I don't know if I like that big of a window, but if I make it, so it'll be off keel. I guess it'll just have to be. And my bearded dragon Viddy is going wild in his cage. He wants to come out right now, but it's recording time. Sorry, Viddy. I don't really want to spend all my episode doing this, so I'll probably finish it up. But I'm going to set up the basic shape. Oh, the basic shape, and then I'll finish it later. I wanted to do a couple things today to get started. I don't like this chest in the middle of the fucking room. That's going to have to move. Okay, what are we doing with? Okay, all kinds of fucking... You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. For the back window, and this window's already set up, so that's good. Now we need flooring. What are we going to do for our floors? After our shovel breaks, we'll set up a basics. We're going to use a lighter color, and this is one of the reasons I'm glad they added. So yeah, that'll be that. I'll put my bed in here, we'll put some torches, we'll have a party, everything will be fun. That wisp is a bit annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Well, it's getting nighttime. Let's give ourselves a rest in the bed I've so graciously created myself. Snore. No snoring for the camera. No snoring for the camera. Alright. So we've set up a bit of a nicer shop. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's certainly not nicer to look at than that I keep wanting to say derelict. That abandoned wheat maker's hut. Let's go with abandoned. Okay, now that we've created that, let's look at the Runic Dust Mod a little bit. Let me get... I always got so much shit in my inventory. So, I've already collected some dusts, and it's not in this chest, but let me grab some of these. I already got some saplings. Alright. Because saplings... Now, I'm just going to show you the basics. Y'all can download it and discover more. And I'll probably use it more as I go along. So let's get some of these dust. Actually, I'm going to show you how to make the dust. I'm not going to use those. So what you need is some coal. And some, for the runic plant dust, which is the basic stuff, you're going to want some kind of growable. Saplings, seeds. I think you could use reeds. You could also use plants that grow in the world like ferns, long grass, you know, the desert version, the little weeds or whatever the fuck they're called. So you do that, you put it like that, and you get runic plant dust. Bam! Kablowie. Anyways, then you're going to need some paper, because you're going to need to make a book. And this, hence, part of why we set up that. We also need it for Thaumcraft, but it's good to set up reeds. Thaumcraft is very intensive on them. Its research uses a lot of paper. So, if you do yourself a favor if you're using Thaumcraft and set yourself up some reeds as soon as possible. So we got our reeds. We got 50 of them. That's way more than enough. Let's get down here and start crafting. Okay. So we all know how to make paper. Reeds in a horizontal position. Makes 3 paper. Then we put that in there. We need a book. And that's heavily part of what we need to make the actual runes work, because you need the right click. Now to make the Runicraft book, I'm not sure the exact name of it, you take the book and you take a dust. It could be any kind of the Runicraft dust, and it makes you a runic tome. This is going to be very useful. So let's go out here to the sand like we were trying to do the other day. Now if we want to look up a recipe, we hold shift and right click. And we left click to go through the various things. So the Runic Dust Mod by Billy the Goat 101. That's the maker of the mod. Shout out for you. Alright, let's go to our very first one, the Torch Rune. Now this one I find fairly worthless. Actually, let me get something real quick for demonstration purposes. Jump through the window. Get these flints. Okay, let's do this. So that's a block. What you're going to need to do is, now the purple, that stands for any kind of dust. And the more dust, I think the better dust you use, the better the effect. But since we only have runic plant dust, we're going to put some runic plant dusts down. And in the square. So we go in the middle of this, go boop, 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 boop. A square. Just like we saw in the thing. So we take that. I don't think it really matters. Let's test it out. Let's try one in a bigger. Whoop, that's not a square at all. Let's try one in all the corners. Let's see if that makes an actual distance. I guess it does, because it doesn't connect. So yeah, right in the center. You'll know because they'll connect. And you can also make scrolls and such later. Okay, so to activate it, you just right click it with the tome. And bam, you get a torch. I don't really see the point in it, considering one of the materials that make the plant dust themselves is coal. So obviously you've already got coal enough to make a torch yourself. Doesn't take any wood though, I guess, but there's a torch. Nothing happens, you just take it, boom, torch. Okay, that seems very simple and fairly worthless. And so let's try something else. Let's look at the information. Now it says normally, if you just create it and right click it, you get a normal torch rune. But if you sacrifice one flint, you get a beacon rune. Now what does sacrificing entail? Basically you take it said flint, you'll take the item it wants to sacrifice and you'll just throw it. As you notice, it's not picking it up due to the fact that I'm really close to it. You have to pick it back up, you have to be right on top of it. So yeah, you just throw it on the rune and it accepts it. And then you right click and you get a beacon. Pretty cool. and then that can be used for whatever purposes you need to use it for. Like we were marking the areas for our various build sites. We go there, we set up a beacon, and we'll be able to find it easy because you can see it from a pretty good distance. Let me run over here. I thought I saw Thaumic slimes. Those little purple things are the bane of me. They're so fucking annoying. And you can see it from a pretty good distance, so yeah, they could be useful for setting landmarks, maybe finding your way home. So pretty cool. And there's more advanced runes, obviously. I know that doesn't seem horribly useful. Let's look in a little book and see what we got next. We got a Rune of the Rabbit Hole. Now, sacrifice is 2 hunger, so it'll take away 2 of your hunger bars. And of course, it's purple, so we could make better versions with better runic dust. So let's take the notes. Variable determines the volume of the den. Well, let's actually read what the actual thing does. The Rune of the Rabbit Hole creates a small hole beneath the rune and allows you to jump inside for safety. Walking over the top will... Walking over the top... That doesn't make any sense. Walking over the top will send you down to the next solid block below in the rune. Oh, so it's basically a teleport. You walk over the teleport on the top of the ground and it'll send you into the little rabbit hole. Pressing crouch while directly beneath the rune will bring you back up. I'll explain it more when we actually do it. I'll try to make a little bit more light of it. Stepping on the rune will send you down, and blah blah blah. That's basically just the more direct description. So we need to sacrifice 2. So it's in each corner. So boop boop boop, and boop boop boop. All right, then we're right clicking, and that's the teleport. So basically, as it was saying, you just walk over it, and it sends you into a little hole into the ground. You could use this as a beginner den, like a beginner little home instead of living in a hole or digging down. You just get a couple. I don't know if you could use charcoal or not, but it creates a den. And now if you have better runic dust, it'll create an even bigger one. So how do we get out? Well, this torch signifies the center, and like it says, you hit crouch, and it sends you back up. You go back in. Go over the torch, you hit out, you're back. So there's your den, your rabbit hole. That one could actually be pretty useful, especially in the beginning when you don't have a place to live. Let's look on the net. Let's see if there's another one we could test. So the Rune of Depths. Sacrifice. Plant and gunpowder levels 2 times log. Do we need to make a sacrifice? So we need a hole in the ground. This one's a little bit more complicated. I've not tried this one. Rune of Depths. Let's see what it actually does. Digs a pit down into earth, requires a hole in the center of the block. Digs a pit down into the earth. Okay, well I don't know if I want to do this right next to my stuff. Let's do it over here. Just in case it creates a big hole. I don't know what exactly it's going to do. Let's do it over here. So it says requires a hole. So boop, 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 boop. I don't have nearly enough plant runic dust for this. Let's go get some more because I know I had a bunch stored in here. It's stored in the other chest. I really need to organize. This is another thing I'm OCD about, is clean and organized storage. Having these miscellaneous chests. Man, that's a tongue twister. Miscellaneous chests. Miscellaneous. I'm not even pronouncing it right. Miscellaneous. Having these miscellaneous chests, it doesn't work for me because I like everything to be organized. Okay, so boop boop. And you can make scrolls to automatically place this stuff on the ground, but that's not going to work. You can. Oh God, I can't place these things for shit. It's very precise. Okay, we got our thing, and it says we need 2 logs. Is that it? 2 logs. So boop boop. I guess that was how I do it. Let's right click. Guess it just digs a hole straight down. Seems a bit dangerous though, as clearly if it made it too low, you'd just fall to your death. I'm not even gonna bother going down to get that shit. But yeah, it digs a hole down. I guess if you use the water bucket and you could glide down. I guess that could be useful. I guess whenever you need a shaft straight down into the earth, that's a good rune for you. I don't like this thing just sitting there like that. Fuck it. Who cares? I know it's there. I ain't gonna be walking into it. So that's the Runic Craft. Now let's look at some of the other. I'm not gonna actually perform these, but so later on you got traps. Like this one creates a flame that allows. No, this is like a portable furnace. This one, if you create it like this, obviously for this one you'd probably definitely want to use a scroll. Creates a flame that lets you smelt items. You throw items in it just like you would sacrifice by hitting the Q key, and you throw them into the fire, and they'll pop out smelted. Now don't throw it into a normal fire. Make sure you use the rune, because if you throw it into a normal fire, you're just going to burn your shit. Later you can make traps that if enemies or actually any entities get near, it'll get zapped with lightning. And you got poison trap, you got explosive traps. You got Rune of Heights. This one will basically create a pillar that you ride up into the sky. Rune of Healing. And you got ones like the very last one. If I could get there, there's quite a bit of them. Let's see. You got one that lets you collect spawners. If you don't have the spawner GUI installed, that one's pretty worthless for me because I have spawner GUI. This one spawns a random record. And so you can see the different colors, like green, which is the rune of place. You got the orange, which is blaze rune dust. The gray is gunpowder. Blue is lapis. I think there's only 4. Rune of the mountain. Rune of the sarlacc. This one is a interesting one because any mobs dropped into it kills any mobs dropped onto it and destroys their drops. However, they will drop 2 times as much experience into the holes around it, which is these large gray areas, and it will not damage anyone underneath. So basically, you could use this for a mob system. You'd let them, like say a drop system, like I had in my last world. You just let the mobs drop onto it. They'd kill, and the experience would drop in here, and you just stand there and then you get double experience without barely doing anything. So yeah, that's a very cool mod. Obviously, you can see it consumes quite a bit, and this blue stuff is lapis. So finally a need for lapis. So some pretty cool runes. I highly suggest you all check the mod out. It's pretty neat. Definitely worth giving a shot. So, and I just don't have this storage space that I need. So anyway, next I wanted to set up a beginner. Let me get all my iron because I know I'm going to need it. I thought I had Viz crystals. Let's get this over here. I have some lapis already. I got a crafting bench. We're going to need this crafting bench. Let's get this out here. Just sit out here in the open for right now. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, the very basics of Thaumcraft, is the need to produce Viz. Vis. I guess it's pronounced Vis. A Vis, which is the power of Thaumcraft. Think of it like Buildcraft's fuel or energy, Industrial Craft 2's electricity, such like that. It's the energy of Thaumcraft. It fuels your machines, and it's what you're going to be needing for some of the basic stuff. So we're going to need to be able to produce it. And to produce Vis the basic way, the most basic way, is to produce a cauldron. I think they're referred to as cauldrons. Let me look on my list. I should have really checked beforehand. I'm pretty sure they're called a cauldron. A crucible. Duh. We're going to need a basic crucible. So how do we craft a crucible? Well, it hits R. We're going to need a cauldron, a furnace, and a crystal of some sort. And these crystals will be found in the world. They're typically found in their own various biomes, but you can find them anywhere, really. Just some more than others in various biomes. You got like an aqueous crystal, you got fiery crystals. Aqueous is water. Find it more near like ocean biomes. Earthen, find it probably more like forestry and all that, and like earthy areas. Fiery probably down near lava. You know, that's in the regular V's crystal and tainted crystal you'd find anywhere. I'll discuss crystals more later. So let's give it a quick rest. Give a quick rest. Okay, let's go back to. So I said, what did it say we need? We needed a crystal, a cauldron, and a furnace. Okay, well let's get the cauldron going, which we all know is a big U, like that. It's a cauldron. Now we need a furnace, which we all know is that, and we need a crystal. So cauldron middle, furnace bottom, single crystal up. And we got our crucible. Let's go sit it down over here. Yeah, over here is fine. Okay. Right. I mean, this is only a temporary setup. We're gonna set up our own Thaumcraft and spawner base, and I think I'm gonna do that out at sea, because Thaumcraft has some. I'll explain later, but basically, if you get too much taint in an area, which crucibles and other Thaumcraft devices can produce taint. It'll turn your ground purple and nasty mobs will spawn, and it's just very unpleasant. And it spreads around the ground, so if I do it out in the ocean, and it can't spread through water. So we'll do that. So this is a crucible, the very basic block of Thaumcraft. Now what does it do? Well, it produces V's. And how do we produce V's? Well, as you can see, it has a ton. And what you would do is you take some of your, I don't know if it'll produce millionaire stuff, no. Basically, you take your resources that you don't need or don't want, and you throw them in the top, and it'll cook them, and it'll produce both V's and taint. Now, V's is good energy, and the good energy, V's will power most of your Thaumcraft devices. Taint, however, is the bad stuff, and then most of the time it'll just clog up your systems. We don't want taint, but right now we don't have the means to filter it out. Taint can actually fuel the Dark Infuser, which is a more evil side, but for right now there's both taint and viz in there. Each block has an inherent value of what it's worth to smelt in the crucible. Obviously, more expensive blocks like say a diamond block are going to produce a lot more v's and taint than say a cobble. Think of it, if you're familiar with equivalent exchange, think of it as EMC value. Obviously, better items have more value than low. So keep that in mind when you're trying to produce this stuff. Now me, I like to just toss bunches of cobble and whatever I don't need in there, and also stuff from mob farms like bones and arrows. If you have like a skeleton system or that, make excellent sources of V's. So we got some V's, and obviously it's just sitting in the crucible, not doing anything. We need a way to get it out of there so we can power a device. So what do we need to do next? We need to create some kind of pipe. Obviously, like Buildcraft has to move its fuel around. IC2 has to move its electricity around. Thaumcraft has its own little pipes in order to move its V's around and its taint. So let's look on our. We need a V's conduit. Let's look how we make this. I don't think I have any redstone. I'm pretty sure I don't, actually. I'm pretty sure I don't. Well, that puts a hamper in my plan, but you don't need it. You can just place the thing now next to it. So let's move on. Now, the very basic, the crafting bench of Thaumcraft. I'll just place the stuff right next to it for now. Later, I'll show you the conduits. They're just like pipes, as you would suspect from Buildcraft or anything. So that lets you move the things a little bit apart. So okay, we need the Thaumic Infuser. That's the crafting bench for Thaumcraft. Now let's find it on our list. Okay, the Thaumic Infuser. What we need to make this is 2 iron, a stone slab, some stone, and an earthen crystal. I'm fairly sure I don't actually have any stone smelted. Figures. I should have really prepped for this a little bit better. Oh well, that's part of it. I mean, this ain't a mod spotlight. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need to smelt it. Let's smelt like 10. That's not what we need. La 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 la. Alright everybody, I'm back. I made sure to be a little bit more prepared this time. And like I said, this ain't a mod spotlight. We'll leave that to the pros like Direwolf and such. So okay, I got the stuff for the Viz conduits. Let me look on my list. So Viz conduit, we needed wood, glass panes, and redstone. So we got this. Put some glass panes in a cross around it, and some wood at the corners. And we got Viz conduits. Now we need something to bring, and we're talking about the infuser, which is Thaumcraft's crafting bench. We need some slabs. Okay, let's get some slabs. And we need, okay, slabs on the out. Oh, no, wait, that's not right. Slab in the middle, top. Iron on the outside. A Vs crystal in the middle. And stone in the bottom. And you got a Thaumic infuser. Okay, let's go over here and test this stuff out. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So this will run the stuff from the... But as you can see, it's not going through. That's because nothing's using it. Nothing's drawing it through. It'll stay in there until something pulls it out, be it a pump or whatever. Okay, so let's pop down our Thaumcraft crafting bench, i.e. the Thaumic infuser. Now you can see from the interface, it has let's see how much. 6 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for most recipes, it doesn't matter where you plop stuff into it. Basically, you're just going to put your items in that you want to infuse. And in this case, we're going to create an alimentum, which can be used as a fuel. It burns, I think, 4 times longer than coal. I want to say 4 or sometime. I don't know. I don't know the exact. So let's look for alimentum. If I could remember how to spell it, it might have been. Okay, here we go. Alimentum. Let's get off that. That's all right. So this is redstone and coal. And alimentum is also used for other things further in Thaumcraft. So you put a redstone and a coal. And you can see this little bar, that's the progress. Now what's happening is it's drawing Vs from the cauldron. As you can see, it's dark purple now. And the Vs will be used to make it. And we don't have quite enough. So what we'll need to do is we'll drop some more stuff in here. I don't really have... Let's drop this cobble. That should be plenty enough to make it. You can see this glows on top saying it's working. It's going up slowly. Now typically you wouldn't want to do this just straight from the cauldron, but just for demonstrational purposes, so you all understand the basics of Thaumcraft, I'm doing it. And you can't see it through it because it's... Typically you would see Viz in here, but it's using it straight up, so it's not really visible. And wow, that really wasn't worth a lot, was it? Cobble's worth next to nothing. And as you can see, now if it's bright purple, it's Vs. If it's dark purple, it's taint. As you can see, taint is just clogging up the system. We're going to have to work to get rid of this later. But this episode is running long, so we're not going to worry about it right now. I just want to finish crafting my stuff. Let me throw this wood in here and these slabs. This is a good way to get rid of extra junk. You can throw it into the crucible, and we created our alimentum. Alimentum is very good fuel. You can use it for the arcane furnace, the Thaumic furnace. Well, a Thaumcraft's furnace thing, and it'll burn a hell of a lot longer. Oh, zombie. And this is why I like to have torches around. So if I'm working into the night, stuff's less likely to... But that's the basics of Thaumcraft. We create Vs, we use it to power devices, and there's tons more devices than just the infuser. But the infuser you're going to be using quite a bit, and it's a very good thing to start off with. So we're already running off into the 30-minute mark. No! My fucking ground! I'll fix it later. Anyways, I'm going to end it here, and I hope y'all enjoyed. I know I've been kind of descriptive, but as I'm going along, I would like y'all to understand what I'm doing. And it's more important that y'all understand the basics off the get-go, as I move along and start using it on a regular basis. So you're not just sitting there, well, what's he using this device for? What's it do? Well, I'm describing it to you right now. These first episodes are going to be the information meltdown. I'm going to be dropping all kinds of information on y'all, describing how things work as we go along, and then as I'm using them, you'll understand and you'll enjoy it more, I think. So that's it for this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. We started off Runic Dust. We started building our house, a basic house. That's not going to be our final house, and we started with Thaumcraft. So I hope y'all enjoyed it.